G'day, I'm going to show you how I make a worm bath. So, you need to get an old bath. It can be plastic, metal. Cover the drain hole with something. This is how to cover an old speaker, but you could use mosquito netting. That stops worms from getting out easily, and to a degree it stops the hole getting blocked up. I rest my baths on two or three better blocks, and I normally have it sloping down towards the hole, and I use an old pot or fry pan, something that goes underneath so that collects the liquid that comes out. The next step is to add some kind of bedding material. I've used torn up newspapers, a little bit of torn up cardboard. Newspaper is always easy to tear if you tear along the writing, the same direction as the writing, then it tears easy in strips. That's just a bedding material that is kind of the base for the worms to move up and down in, and I'm putting a lot in now because it's winter here and the worms can get cold, so the more material there is, the more chance there is somewhere in the middle that's a bit warmer. Now I've added a little bit of food waste. This is our bin from the kitchen that gets all the things that the chickens and ducks don't eat. So the onion skins, and people say not to feed that to worms, but my experience is that it's organic matter and it will break down and they will eat it. So there's tea bags, there's egg shells, there's tissues, there's lemon halves from squeezed lemons, and I've just put in a few extra weeds around the front here to tidy up, but just to give them some green stuff. They want variety. Now I'm going to add some worms, so I'm going to the worm bath that's next to it, and I'm going to lift up the carpet covering. The carpet covering again is to help insulate the worms so they don't get too hot, too cold. So in here you can see there's potato peelings and there's worms all in there, so I'm going to just dig in there and get out some worms, and if there's a bit of food waste with it, doesn't really matter. And this is going to populate this new worm bath. Here's an example of what I've just dug out. So I dug just under those potato skins so you can see the worms there, and sort of the broken down material which is almost pure worm castings, a bit of other stuff mixed in it. But that now will inoculate this both with their bacteria in the soil and their castings, and worms as well, and I'll put in a few more handfuls. The more worms you put in the beginning, the quicker it will get going and function better. Okay, so there you can see the castings on there. You can't see the worms anymore because they've all disappeared. They don't like the light, so they've buried away. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of water. This is just to make the paper a bit damp. That'll do. And tomorrow I'll take any of that liquid that's come out into the bottom and I'll put it back over just to make everything damp. It'll be nice and free draining, so they don't mind. And then I'm going to put a big piece of cardboard over the top. Again, just another layer of insulation. Get that to fit inside. And then they're going to get a rug to cover, so like tucking them in. So this is just an old rug. It's from an auction actually. Yesterday we went to an auction and bought a whole lot of second-hand stuff. Now it's better if this is made from natural materials rather than synthetics, so it's not made from polyester or plastic. I can't tell what this one is, but it doesn't really feel synthetic. It could be, but yeah, it won't do too much harm. Now that just will give them their 2 layers. Cardboard will hold some air gaps underneath so that they've got some fresh air, and that will just help keep them warm. And then what I do normally is I put a couple of rocks on top, and that just helps to stop those rugs being blown away by the wind. and that's pretty much it. And I'll let those worms get settled and then periodically give them some food waste or animal manures, and slowly that bath will fill up, and it can take 6 times its volume. So it needs to be filled up 6 times before it will be full of pure worm castings. That's how much the worms can decompose stuff. Alright, bye bye.